Hey guys, so a lot of you have been asking how I did these arm knit infinity scarves, and I'm going to show you how. So the one that I'm wearing right now is kind of long. I actually used 2 balls of yarn to do this one. It's pretty long and it's a lot thinner than usual. I mean, I'm stretching it out, but you can see that they are a little bit more loose. This one is more thick, as you can tell. This yarn is different. It's called cobble something. It's made by Patron. So this one's made out of wool, so it's more thick. I had 2 balls of yarn, and they're called Charisma yarn. I got it at Michael's with coupons and stuff for like $2. These ones have 109 yards or so. So just look out for one of those. Depending on which one you want to make, the 2 balls of yarn, you're going to use both ends. We're going to find 2 ends of this, and I'm going to make a scarf out of these. So I will show you how. So now that you've got both of your yarn balls set, find the ends of them. We're going to make this yarn about 4 feet long. So I'm just going to count them out. So 1, 2, 3, 4. So now you have this long piece of yarn, and we're going to start off by making a slip knot. I fold it in half so that it's that 4 foot of yarn is equal to the working yarn that you have. So I'm going to make a slip knot, and I kind of twist it like this, and then you're pulling in from the working yarn like this. I'm going to take my bracelet off so that it's easier to do this. And you're going to slip it into your right arm, left arm, whatever. I'm going to use my right arm. And you're going to slip it in and make sure that it's not too tight. It's not tight, but it's not also super loose. So just kind of adjust it to your arm length. Make sure you save some room on your arm so that you can have different kinds of, it's going to fill up, your yarn's going to fill up your arm. So now you have this end. This is a loose end. This is going to be your tail. You're just going to leave that on the side. Your other one is your working yarn. That's the one connected to your yarn balls. Tail yarn, working yarn. For knitting, it's going to be called casting. So for those who knit, it's going to be very similar to that. So my thumb is going right over the tail, and my index finger is going right over the working yarn. So it kind of looks like that from my side, or like that on your side. I take the 3 fingers that are left and I'm holding on to the rest, including the tail yarn. So I'm kind of like holding them like this. On your side, it's going to look like this. So for it to be easy, I pull my arm down, and now you kind of see this Y looking like figure, I guess. And if you guys got that set, it just looks like this on the other side. Take your hand, and we're gonna go under here like that, and we're going to go over this one, and there's going to be kind of like a triangle right here, and we're gonna go through that hole, and then we're gonna pull through the arm. Well, this is kind of what you're gonna see. It starts to look kind of like a stitch here. Now we've only made just a couple, so we'll keep doing about 10 more of these. Your tail, your working, your L right here. You're gonna grab all 3 and pull down. And then we're gonna go under, over, and through, and pull. The more loose you make it, the bigger your holes are going to be in your scarves, and the tighter it's going to be, the smaller holes, but the most difficult part is you're going to be transferring from arm to arm, so it'll be a little difficult. So we're going to do this about, my last one I did about 15. Okay, so I just finished doing about 15 full stitches on my arm. So it should look something like this. Each stitch will have 2 yarns. So like this would be a stitch here. This would be a stitch here. The difference between this one and the other one that I made, this gray one, the thicker one and shorter one, is that the yarn is more thick. So I just used one instead of doubling it like these. So you only need 1 ball of yarn. Okay, so we're going to do the next step, which is actually the knitting part. Again, this is your tail. We're going to hold on to the tail, just leave it on the side. We're not really going to do anything much. We're going to save it for later. This is your working yarn. So with this working yarn here, we're going to grab it with our right arm, the one that you have the yarn, all the yarn on your arm, like this. Take your stitch right here. We're going to pull it forward over that hand and right over that arm. So now I'm still holding on to the working yarn. And I'm going to take my other arm and we're just transferring over. And then you just readjust. Again, not too tight, not too loose. Okay, your working yarn here, holding it with your right arm. Pull out a stitch, just 2 yarns. Pull it over your arm and over the working yarn. Now you have something looking like this. Take that working yarn and put it over your hand, and we're going to just adjust. Okay, so I've just finished transferring over to the other arm. Now we're going to do the same exact thing on this arm. So basically you're going to transfer back and forth, back and forth, back and forth until the ball is all gone, until there's no more yarn left, or if there's a little bit of yarn, or when you're just satisfied as to the length of your scarf. So your working yarn, we're going to hold it on to that yarn on my left hand, and we're going to grab a stitch, pull it over, and then just pull that yarn to adjust. So now it looks like that. Same thing. Now that working yarn is in my left hand, pull a stitch out, pull it over, and slide your hand right through that working yarn.
In mid-July, I still feel cold. We're opposites in every way.
Okay guys, so I finished the whole thing, all the yarn, and this is what's left, the little one here and this longer one, so I'm just going to cut it off. I'm just going to tie it into a knot so that it just stays secure. If you want to leave it like this, it's very simple. Basically what you would do, or I think that what you would do, is just to grab another yarn and then bind these together, and then you'd have just one long scarf. For an infinity scarf, we're going to take the edge of the casting that you made on this end, and there's rims on here. So what you're going to do is you're going to match it onto these and bind them on these guys. It's going to be a little difficult, so I'm going to suggest maybe having someone else to hold this side for you, or have like some sort of rod or needles, like a knitting needle, to help you. I just put this on a rod that I have, and just kind of making them straight. Start by grabbing one of these stitches, or yeah, I guess stitches, and grab your tail. I'm just gonna simply just go over it. Like that. And see the next hole in here. I'm going to go over that one, pull it through, and then grab your other one. I'm going to start again. This is the tail, and we're going to loop it in the next one, which is this one right here. So I'm just gonna bind this one here. Doesn't really matter if you go over or under, just as long as you get it in there, that loop.
In mid-July, I still feel cold. We're opposites in every way, but I can't resist it when you say, hello, how are you, my darling, today?
So it's finished, and now just tie the end. Make it a double knot so that it doesn't fall out. And there we go. And I'm gonna pull it off here. And now you have your infinity scarf. Should look something like this. Very long. So some people like to wear it like this. Otherwise, you can definitely tie it up one more time, like this. Alright, and there you have it, your infinity scarf. Thanks for watching.
Ba ba ba